Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at some of these main coins then. Just the main three, the most important ones at the moment as far as I'm concerned. The top caps, which is obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. So we'll start off with Bitcoin. So after we amended this channel that we were trending in fact it's reverted back to where it was, so we just moved that back to the wick and it makes a bit more sense. So yeah, as you can see, we bounce on the bottom level here. So we're moving our way up to the top, but where we find a rejection from at the moment is the 10 simple. That's fine. We were rejected from there the other day, in fact, so it's reasonable to assume that we'll stop here. Now, bursting through here, it wouldn't surprise me if we make our way all the way up to this top channel here, which actually is going to be pretty much the top of where we were last time. So we're talking 10,550. There is a CME gap, and I don't ever really like mentioning those sort of things because, you know, they're a bit cliche for me. I mean, yeah, we can often depend on a CME gap getting closed, and currently the CME gap's about, I think it's around about 10,200 to 10,300. So if that was to be the case, it would take us to just over the centre of the pitchfork. So maybe we'll get rejected from around that area. Bursting through there, top of the Bollinger Band's right here, so there's the range is up. The good thing is we've got our golden cross. Obviously we've had the golden cross. The MACD is down, but it doesn't look like it wants to stay down. RSI is moving back up. But what I'd like to see is it cool off at this level now. Support above 10,000, and then go sideways for a little bit and maybe move up. That's what I'd like to see. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to happen. What I think is more likely to happen is that there will be a push all the way up to around about these levels, 10,350. So this is the area of interest, breaking above and staying above and closing above on a candle body higher than the previous ones. So that'll be anywhere above these wicks, really. We're talking about 10,400 or so. If we can close about 10,500, 10,550, even better, but it's got to be a candle body close. So let's have a look at what happened the last time we sort of tested these ranges. So the last time we broke down from the top to the bottom was around here, and over the 3-day period we had 3 big green candles. Are we going to have 3 big green candles this time? I think we probably are, actually. I think tomorrow and the day after, I think we're going to start to make new highs again. So again, you know, I did go long down at this level, and I'm very happy to have done that. I did go long on XRP down at this level as well, where we bounced on the descending trend. We'll move on to XRP in just a moment. So I am long, just so you know. I've got plenty of skin in this game right now. These are my main 3 holdings. Well, actually, I've got a lot of BNB actually, but these 2 are the main 2 that I've got. The vast majority of my portfolio is Ethereum and has been for quite a long time now. If you're on my Telegram chat, you realise, you'll recognise that is my biggest holding. I've been talking about it, shilling it, I suppose, is what the term would be. But just sharing my portfolio, you know, to letting you know what I'm in. I'm not one of those people that just, you know, blindly sells something. I mean, I'm telling you what I do, and if you're interested, then that's great. I'm not telling you to do anything, but this is what I'm doing. I've been in Ethereum now for quite a while, and it's proved to be a pretty good coin. Now I've split my Ethereum profits in half, so I'm holding half of my portfolio is in Ethereum, the other half is split between XRP and BNB, and obviously I margin trade XRP and Bitcoin. So that's me, that's all I've got. I'm not holding anything else, and that's all I intend to hold now for quite a while. I don't have a great deal of time to actually put trades on these days, but that's my bag. So let's have a look at XRP then. So just a quick overview of what's been going on. I got interested in this when I recognised that we broke out of this descending trend last week. This is a 2-year descending consolidation trend line, and we broke out of that last week on the weekly. Now we were rejected massively, but because we closed above it on the weekly a couple of days ago, so Monday closed above it with a candle body, I'm still very bullish on this. When I'm talking bullish, I'm actually talking really bullish. I'm talking very, very bullish on XRP, and I get a lot of views, but I also get a lot of hate. Because people just they're so emotionally attached to XRP, whether that's in a good way or a bad way. I don't know why it's got that about it. It's just a tool for making money to me. It means nothing. I don't care about the project. I don't care about much. I just care about the way that the chart looks. And the chart looks good to me. For a long-term continuation, we've got an Ichimoku Cloud conversion baseline cross here on the weekly, just here, which means that we're going to have. We're not going. Nothing's certain, but this would suggest that we're going to have continuation for quite a long time now. I'm talking weeks to months. So yeah, for me it's reasonable to assume that this is a good level to be buying in at. I'll be looking to at least double my money on this one before I even consider cashing out. I think that this is likely to do more than a 2x. I think we're looking to do something really big and out of the norm for XRP. I think we're going to look at some really big moves on XRP over the next few months. Maybe any minute, to be honest with you. Any minute it could happen. So that's the way I feel about it, and I've got a lot of hate about that filling this channel. However, I'm getting a lot of views as well, so I can't complain. Views are up. When you talk about XRP, you just get the views for some reason. So maybe I'll just keep doing it, even if it's bad. But I do believe that this is going to be a good year for XRP. Much better than last year. And I think it actually, towards the end of the year, it'll turn out to be, if not the one of the best performers of the top cap coins. And that's all I've got for it, really. We'll go down to the daily, see what's going on the daily. So again, I mean, you can see how we've been supported on this descending trend line. So the descending trend line has turned, it has been resistance, it is now support. It's tested it several times, and we're bouncing from it again. We're bouncing up to the 30-cent mark, which is where I said it was going to go on my video the other day. Feel free to have a look at that. And the reason being is that we're hitting this 10 simple, similar to the way that Bitcoin's hitting the 10 simple. Is Ethereum hitting the 10 simple? Absolutely not. Ethereum's launched from the 10 simple, so the most bullish, which I'm very happy about, considering it's my biggest holding, so I'm very happy about that. But you've got to look to the future, and the future might be in XRP. So yeah, launching above this 10 simple will give it that next big push to get back up to the 34-cent mark, and that's where we've been rejected from these last 3 times. That's where we need to break. Breaking above there, we're going to be super turbo bullish, and I mean massively. I think first the stop will be up to about 41, and I know I said that it would be 41 cent at some point this week. Don't hold me to that, but there is a possibility still. But again, we're being rejected from the 10 simple at the moment, and a lot of this move is on the back of Bitcoin. But because Bitcoin dominance is still very low, every move that Bitcoin does, altcoins do more. So you know, let's just hold our alts close to our chest and keep moving. So let's have a look at Ethereum then. So Ethereum is close to making its all-time high of the year. I don't see why it won't. And my targets for Ethereum are first of all 300 and then 320. Simple as that, really. It's I've been studying this one for a while. This is the one that I put the vast majority of my money in, and I'm so happy with that decision. Now, I've just been hodling it for the majority of the time. I've rarely traded it. In fact, I don't margin trade this one because it's been making such big moves up, and I get scared. So I thought, what's the point? When you're making such big moves up, you don't need to trade it on a margin. You can simply just hold it and make plenty of profit, which is what I've been doing. So, I mean, like I said, that's pretty much all we've got to go by. We don't have anything other than that. If we were to break down from here, we're talking about Bitcoin breaking down. Bitcoin would probably break down to the bottom of this level again, and maybe 9,600 again. But I think it's got 3 days in it. So considering that that's got 3 days in it, I think these coins are going to have 3 days in it as well. So that would mean XRP is likely to get back to the 34 cent and hopefully break it. Ethereum probably making an all-time high of the year, so we're talking 300 to 320. And Bitcoin hopefully will be up towards the 10,350, if not higher. We could be looking to test the top range of this pitchfork tool, which if it were to do it today, that would be all the way up at 10,871. I think this is going to happen, not this next 3 days, but I think we'll be looking at around about $11,000, maybe by the end of this week, if we can hold this up. Now, if we have a quick look, RSI's in a nice place. Let's have a look at this. RSI is quite overextended actually with Ethereum, and with XRP it's in an okay place. So Ethereum is obviously going to be the one that pulls back the hardest if there were to be pullbacks. First test would be on the 10 simples. We're talking 258 as of today, and well, I mean, if obviously XRP would break down, it would break back down to the the descending trend again. XRP looks like it wants to have a golden cross at some point soon, and that is very exciting to me because it means that there'll be more massive moves to be made. So I think, this is why I split my portfolio: 50% Ethereum, 20%, 25% XRP, 25% Binance, and that's not including the amount that I've got that I use to margin trade with on XRP and Bitcoin. So everything's looking pretty good, pretty healthy for the market. Don't really see a problem with it right now. If there is an issue, it's going to be with Ethereum, and that would be when it hits these levels, 300 to 320. I think at that point it's going to be due for another massive pullback. So I'll be looking to take profits around about those areas, maybe 310 or something. But who knows? The reason I say that is that when we look at the history, let's have a look at the history here on Ethereum. We recently topped out on the absolute max of our RSI, all the way up here at 88.3. That was higher than it was when it reached its all-time high of $1,400. So it's a very delicate range, playing it up at these high levels of RSI. Very, very delicate. So it is due for. It does need to have a pullback, or it needs to stop. But you can't stop something that's in such a essentially parabolic mode. Every other indicator is bullish, so you're just going to have to go with it. But it's a dangerous one, but it's the one that I'm still holding the most of, and it's a hodl situation for me. So yeah, I'll be moving with the ups and the downs and just riding with the waves. It's only these two guys here that I like to margin trade because they've got a bit more. Well, it's a bit easier to anticipate the moves back down, and they've got obviously a lot further to go. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Hope that was insightful for you. Please leave a comment if you're happy with what I'm talking about. If you're unhappy, just don't leave a comment. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a nice evening. Take it easy.